Hi there, everybody. Hi, welcome. Welcome back. I'm Todd Nauck, and welcome to the Art of Todd Nauck Facebook art broadcast show, the Art of Todd Nauck show, here on Facebook. I gotta work on that intro. I gotta work on that intro title sort of thing. But hey, gang, I'm so glad y'all are here. It's been a while since I've been able to do a broadcast. I think it was early June, or not early June. I did do a broadcast in early June. Let's get the hair going there. I look like a mess. It was early November. It's been a crazy month for me. Hence, it's been a while since I've been able to do a broadcast because in early November, I went to India for the first time. Went to a Comic-Con in Bangalore, India. So thank you to all the Indian comic book fans and friends that we made there who came out to visit me, Joe Harris, and Jim DeMonakis. We had an awesome time. My wife was there with me as well. We had a great time. So that took a week. We came home, and I had to get over jet lag as well as keep up on my deadlines for the latest Marvel project I'm working on. So hopefully y'all are picking up my current projects, my Marvel series, Deadpool 2 soon. It's a 4-issue miniseries. The first 2 issues are out now and in comic shops. So make sure you pick those up. Issue 3 comes out later this month. Issue 3 of Deadpool 2 Soon comes out the same day as my fill-in issue of Spider-Man Deadpool, issue number 12, written by Paul Scheer and Nick Giovanetti. So I have 2 issues of Deadpool, 2 different Deadpool series coming out the same day, December 28th. So make sure you pick those up. But I'm currently working on a project for 2017 that Marvel hasn't announced yet. So you guys, I think this might be the first time y'all are hearing about it. So I got a new project I'm doing. It comes out in 2017. Marvel hasn't said what it is yet, so I can't say what it is yet. But that's what's been keeping me from broadcasting. But finally, I've got some free time here. I thought, let's do a brand new broadcast and let's do a brand new feature to the Art of Todd Nauck show. Brand new feature. So hopefully many of y'all who are tuning in now saw my post earlier today on the Art of Todd Nauck Facebook page. And if you're brand new, make sure you subscribe. Just go ahead and subscribe to my Art of Todd Nauck Facebook page now so that you can keep up with everything that I'm doing, including this brand new feature. I asked you guys to post the name of one character for my new feature, Todd Nauck's character mashup challenge. Todd Nauck's character mashup challenge, where I take 2 random characters and I mash them up to make a brand new 3rd character. Much like Marvel and DC did with the Amalgam universe back in the 1990s, where they took Batman and Wolverine and made it Darkclaw. So this is kind of a little bit like that, but you get to name the characters. So I randomly chose 2 of the characters that y'all posted. And this proves that the characters that came up today proves that I am not picking these characters, that they're the characters I want to draw. Otherwise, I would have picked the one that I would have picked Kitty Pryde, which someone has suggested, and I would have picked Booster Gold, which somebody suggested. 2 of my favorite characters. No. That's not how we're doing this. They were randomly chosen, and now I have to deal with the consequences. I'm dealing with the consequences right now. We'll show you the first character that was randomly chosen. So, from Masters of the Universe, Manny Faces by Rich M. Rich M suggested Manny Faces, and his selection was randomly chosen first. So, you know, we got a lot of hardware here and muscles and stuff and a big blaster. Big blasters are always fun to draw. So I got to draw Manny Faces, but I got to merge him with another character. So hit the random number generator, and thanks for all the posts, people. Everyone, but pretty much everyone obeyed the rules and posted 1 character name. If you posted 2 characters, sorry, as I mentioned in the post, multiple characters are not eligible. So everyone, but pretty much I'd say that well more than 90% of the people posted, appropriately. So, the second character that was chosen in the random draw was from the Flash TV show from the CW, Killer Frost. Killer Frost. Lovely lady. Lovely actress. I gotta merge Killer Frost with Manny Faces. This is not easy to do. This is hard to do. This is what I have ended up with. So for the very first character mashup challenge, I've got to draw Manny Faces merged with Killer Frost. So, as people are coming in here, we'll get to drawing here in just a moment. We're just giving some people time to come in, and I'm setting up the whole premise of today's feature. So thanks for this will be epic. Thank you, Rich. Thank you, Rich Osborne. Appreciate that. So, yeah, this hopefully will be fun. And that's the main thing about it. It's going to be fun. To try to merge these 2 characters together into one character, it's really going to require a lot of my brain power. But I had at 5 o'clock is when 5 o'clock California time is when I ended the suggestions, and I was able to collate all the characters and then randomly choose them. So once I figured it out, I still had maybe about half an hour to figure out how do these two characters fit together, and I figured it out. Man-E-Faces, and if you're not familiar with Man-E-Faces from the Masters of the Universe, he's a good guy, and he's got these three different faces: a human face, a monster face, and a robot face. And I think his abilities change with the different face he has. So that's his thing. He has a human face, a monster face, and a robot face. Killer Frost, she's a ice-powered villain from the DC Universe. So ice, and this is where it clicked for me, ice can be three different things. It can be lovely. You know, you get a nice, freshly driven snow. It's beautiful. It's picturesque. You'd want Bob Ross to paint it. That's how beautiful snow can be. But it can, once, you know, it's been around for a while and they've salted it and stuff so people can drive on the streets and it starts to melt, it becomes sludgy and gross and ugly. So snow and ice can be kind of ugly over time. And then lastly, snow and ice can be dangerous. You know, you got to be careful when you're driving on the road. You don't want to be looking straight up at an icicle, otherwise it's going to fall and jam right through your eye and kill you. So it's dangerous. So it's beautiful, it's gross and ugly, and it's dangerous. So there's my commonality, 3 and 3. It's the power of 3 for all my Doctor Who fans. So it's fellow Doctor Who fans, I should say. It's not like I personally have Doctor Who fans. I don't know, maybe I do. Do I have any Doctor Who fans? I don't know if anyone would consider me someone to be a fan of that they would be a fan of my Doctor Who. I guess maybe so. I'm tangenting. My brain is already churning so much on how to fit this together. I'm just talking right off the top of my head. So what we're going to do is I want to say thanks for everyone for tuning in. Thanks for being patient while I set up this brand new feature to the Art of Todd Nauck show. And let's get to drawing. So I'm going to flip the wig around and I'm going to, we're just going to start sketching. We'll see how far we can get. Ideally, I'd love to get pencils, inks, and colors done in one broadcast. I don't know if that's likely. I haven't been able to do it really yet, so this might break up into a couple, 2, maybe 3 at the most, separate broadcasts. So we'll plug into the rig, we'll get drawn. I'll do my best to answer your questions as I draw, but a lot of my brain power is going to go into trying to figure out this mess here. But I'll do my best to answer my questions as well as I can. And if, you know, if there's time at the end, what we'll do is a Q&A at the end, and hopefully I can address some of your questions towards the end of the show if I am not able to address them while I'm drawing. So I want to say thanks for everyone's support. Thanks for being here. It's so awesome. It's so good to see y'all again. And if you're watching on YouTube, hopefully you'll enjoy this on YouTube and come by my Art of Todd Nauck Facebook page and subscribe so y'all don't miss out on the live stuff and you're able to participate in the suggestions for my new feature, Todd Nauck's character mashup challenge. I've got to practice that. You know, we're working out without a net, people. You know me, working without a net. So enough of this. We're gonna flip around and get going. All right, so let's get to work on this character here. So let's see. Create a little space. Got some Bristol board here. Some Strathmore smooth Bristol board. No, this is Canson brand Bristol board. So I decided, since I have a choice between a male and a female character, I'm going to go with a female character here. We're going to pretty much make this Killer Frost here, and then incorporate different parts of Man-E-Face's costume and armor into her look. I came up with the name Frosty Faces. Frosty Faces is what I'm calling this one right here. Frosty Faces. So I just want to rough in the basic structure of the character. Get the skeleton of the... Now when I say skeleton, I'm actually drawing a bone skeleton, but the framework of the character. That can then put the finer details on. So I like to sketch it out, break it down again. It's for all the Tears for Fears fans out there. And put the blaster over here. Have to get the blaster in there. And the hand that holds the blaster. Took a while to learn how to draw a hand holding a gun or a blaster. Took some practice, but I got there. It's actually fun to do, how the fingers fold to grip the gun handle and stuff, so and the trigger finger and whatnots. Let's see, thanks for the kind words, gang. I appreciate that. Appreciate that very much. How are we doing on, let me just double check, make sure we're focused there. All right, good, good. So we'll have, maybe here Blaster blasts Cold, like not unlike Captain Cold, one of the many ice villains of the DC universe, but she can generate cold from her hands as well. So see, we got her hand charging up. All right, now one thing I like about the CW Frost, is that the actress, is her name Danielle Panabaker? Is that who plays Killer Frost? I think so. She's got all that great hair, so I don't want to lose that hair. But so my thought is here, I don't want to lose all this hair. This is fun stuff to draw, and it's really cool. But Man-E-Faces has this big old dome on top of his head, where the faces, you twist a little top of the toy, and his faces flip around. So I'm going a little taking some creative license, I should say here. So we're going to have the collar of the helmet part, but we're not going to put the whole dome on top of there because I don't want to lose the hair. But she can change her faces because of this helmet. And so she can like freeze her face like in a block of ice, and it shatters, kind of like maybe like Iceman from the Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends cartoon. So we start to work in the collar part of the Man-E-Faces hood. And put some canisters here. So I'm incorporating this part here is straps, and then this part here connecting to the collar. So this part up here, I'm just ditching it. I'm getting rid of it. Because I don't want to I don't want to put her into this. I don't want to put her into this costume. I don't want to put him into her costume. That's boring. What I want to do is take elements of each character and spin it out in new ways to create the look. Like this metal underwear. I don't want to put her in metal underwear. That's going to look weird. But I will make it a big power belt. Make it a power belt, almost like a wrestling federation-sized championship belt, sort of belt. Kind of like Iceman wore in X Factor, which is my favorite era of Iceman, when he was in X Factor and Loki jacked up his powers and he couldn't control his powers. He had to get an inhibitor belt to relegate his powers. And I thought that Walter Simonson, big chunky blocky belt with a big knob right there on the buckle, to where he could ratchet up his powers. You know, he could turn them off or turn them all the way up and like freeze a building, because he couldn't control his powers. He was freezing everything just by being. It was a very challenging time for Iceman there in the 1980s. But I want to incorporate the different. See, there's a lot to Man-E-Faces that I can incorporate. The shoulder pads, these ridged plates here on his shoulders and on his thighs and on the belt here. The tubing, the gauntlets. I'll work a little bit of the leg armor here onto her. So I'll be using the blues, the purples mixed with her black leather, and so parts of her costume, like her top here and the pants, and we'll see if we can work any of the jacket underneath the armor. So I want to incorporate just these different bits bit by bit. So there's a bit of text. So it's almost like she's kind of got a bit of a not Captain Cold, a Mr. Freeze sort of vibe to her a little bit, because Mr. Freeze, Batman, is stuck in that cooling suit armor sort of thing. But this is Frosty Faces. Copyright Todd Nauck. So we're just going to rough this in. This might be a little bit more of a rough sketch here, just so we can... She has these big gauntlets. On her arms. All right, now so her face here. Let's zoom in here so we can get the detail on the face. I know a lot of people ask about how to draw faces, how to draw women's faces, how to draw hair. So hopefully, as you watch me draw here, you'll pick up some tricks. First off, draw the entire head. The entire head. What kind of pencils do I use? I like to use mechanical pencils. This is a Pentel Twist Erase mechanical pencil with a 0.5 HB lead. I like to use HB lead. 0.5 lead for the breaking down of shapes. Don't want to use the smaller 0.3 until, only for when I need to do finer details. So once I break down the center of the face, the eye line, nose line, mouth line, I pretty much whenever I draw a character, I break down all the different face placements. Even the hair starts essentially halfway between the top of the head and the eye line, generally. Then I pull out the hair from the center and out, depending on the shape of the hair. And now she's got crazy flowy hair. Maybe we'll have it blowing one direction here, because she don't know she beautiful. See what I did there? One direction. That's for the kiddos. I know kids love boy band humor, especially if they're from the UK, so there you go. No extra charge for that joke there. Like I said, working without Annette. Annette never seems to make it into the studios anymore. I should fire her. Will I do alternate faces for her? No, I will not be doing alternate faces. We'll just be doing the one here. But we'll know that she can change her faces. Because I don't want to put another face on this side, another face on that side. At least not yet. My idea was that she morphs her face from the beautiful face to the sludgy, ugly face to the dangerous, stormy face. So oftentimes when we see Manny faces, he's in his human form. That's kind of his resting Masters of the Universe face. And then he switches to monster and robot when he needs to. So she switches to sludge and dangerous stormy face when she needs to. I think I saw someone post, give her a smirk, and I absolutely agree. She definitely needs the smirk. So with the nose, a little diamond there at the nose line, nostrils, always keeping in mind the bridge, whether I draw the bridge of the nose or not. Sometimes I rough in the cheeks to make sure I've got the right spacing. And then the lips, got that little teardrop of the lip, bottom lip, chin. And ears go from the top of the eyebrows to the bottom of the nose line. Some of the hair falls down inside of the collar. Alright, so this is just the rough, basic breakdown here of the character. So just got enough of the details in here that I know where to put the finer details as we go. So we're only taking it down to upper thigh. That's all the space we have here. So now that I've got her pretty much broken down, let's go ahead and jump into inks and keep rocking it forward. Maybe do the other faces as post-it notes. Maybe I could, and I could just stick the notes right there on the side. That's a fun idea. Thank you, Dennis, for that suggestion. Hope everyone's having a good time. So I'm starting with the inks here with a Pigma Microns, the 005. That's what I'm starting with, just to getting the smaller details down first. Because I want to keep the details on her face light and crisp. I don't want to come in with the 08. That's too clunky of a pen width. It would muddy up her face. We want to keep especially on a female character, the faces or the details very light. Whether I'm drawing a younger character or even an older character like Aunt May, I want to keep all those wrinkles nice and tight. So female characters, I tend to pretty much all my characters, I use the smaller pen tips for the faces to ensure I can get the details nice and crisp. So get the eyes going here, and let's get the eyebrows. Because the nice thing about going thin, when you start thin with your lines, if you need to make them thicker, you can do that. But if you start and your lines are too thick, you can't really make those lines thinner unless you start using whiteout, but then you can't really color over the whiteout as correctly because the whiteout's different than the papers. So I've got the 01 here too. It's just another step up. It helps me get a little thicker of a line for certain parts where I need to. So you can always make your lines thicker when needed to. You just can't make them thinner. Just like getting a haircut. You can always take off more hair, but you can't put it back on. So let's get the hair going. So now I have bumped up to the 08 because I'm coming in with some wispy lines here, so they go pretty thin pretty fast. So if I use too thin of a marker, the lines would be too thin. But I can do this because I feel comfortable with my knowledge of what these pens can do because of copious amounts of practice, hours upon hours of practice. Looks like that one female character from Mass Effect. I don't play Mass Effect, so I'm not sure who that is, who that would be. Don't get a chance to play a lot of video games, unfortunately. Pretty much drawing is my video game. Because I loves to draw. So as you can see, I carry the flow. I start from the base of the head, how the hair connects. You want to pay attention to the hairline. Look at real life. Look at real life photos of hair and study where the people's hairlines start and stop. I've seen people draw some illustrations with really, and I've done it myself, really weird hairlines because we weren't paying attention to the shape of the face or the head. So you gotta keep in mind where is the hair starting from and going to. What parts are covered up by hair, like this ear, because the hair is going this way, it's going to cover up the top of her ear there. And then it all kind of bunches up down here in the inside of the collar. Is that her name? Is what? Oh, maybe y'all are talking about the Mass Effect character. Yeah, this character's name is Frosty Faces. Frost-E-Faces. Right now I need my reference material here so I can kind of capture some of the elements of his collar here. So So I'll tech it out, and I'll add my own tech flavor to it as well, as I took the liberty of moving the hoses that go across his chest to around and under her shoulders, like a backpack sort of look. Here's some cool or light blues for the skin tone. Yes, definitely would give her a frosty look to her. Definitely would do that, yes. And we'll tackle that at the color stage for sure. Let's make sure I stay in here. I get so involved with the art, sometimes I forget to stay on camera. Let's see. Put these little purple canisters here. Maybe some, since we can actually see inside of her collar, because we're not doing the full dome helmet, kind of have some little running lights in there or something like that. What do I think about the upcoming Nintendo console, the Switch? This is the first I'm hearing about it. I did not know Nintendo was coming out with something called the Switch. Does that mean we're supposed to switch from the Wii to the Switch? Are they going to have that out in time for Christmas? Because I don't know if y'all know this, but in my opinion, video games are one of the top Christmas presents given each year. It's true. Google it. Because in my opinion, people love video games. That's true as well. Whether it's an app on their phone or iPad or video game console, people just love video games. And I don't blame them. I don't blame them. All right, so she's starting to come together here. We're starting to see the merge here. I think a lot of this will come together in color as well. Definitely a fun challenge. A challenge nonetheless, though. It is a challenge, but that's the thing about a challenge. You either embrace it or you run away from it. And when I saw these two characters come up as the mashup challenge characters, I wanted to run away from it. I wanted to reshuffle the deck. But I thought, no, I have to have integrity. I have to have integrity and accept the challenge. I have to find a way to make this work. And hopefully the end product will reflect that. I appreciate everyone's patience. I know I haven't been able to answer many questions here. A lot to focus on when you're, when you're doing a brand new character design of a half figure, as opposed to drawing a headshot, which is oftentimes in my Post-it notes, broadcasts. Would I ever do official art for a video game? I would consider it, sure. Definitely consider that. If a video game maker approached me saying, we want you to design this new game, it's a mashup between the DC villains and the He-Man characters, I'll say, you know what? I'm already a step ahead of you. I already got one character done. Frosty Faces. Here she is. That'll be $100,000, please. Just for the one character, you know, it's $100,000 for each character. I don't know, I'm just making up dollar figures here. I figure video games are pretty successful. They can afford to pay $100,000 per character, right? Or am I way off there? Come back over here. Work on her gauntlet a little bit more. Much like my Darth Vader lifting Thor's hammer sketch, yes. I don't know if y'all saw me post about my my latest entry in Comic Vine's Mystery Art Challenge from New York Comic Con. This time I had to draw Darth Vader and Mjolnir, so that was fun. Check this out, take this belt out a little bit. Do I have any recommendations when it comes to classes? Well, it depends. If you're in high school or junior high, see if you can take art as an elective if your school offers it. That's what I did. And then if you need to pursue schooling or classes after high school, or even if you're still in school, you can do this as well. Check into community colleges. See if they have any community art classes that you can take part in. You know, they have some fees or material fees, you know, for supplies or whatever like that. So make sure you research that. As far as art schools, can't really speak to art schools other than the art school I attended, and that was the Art Institute of Dallas, where I studied commercial art and graphic design, and then applied everything I learned there to drawing comics. They did not teach comic book art. I had to continue to teach that to myself, but the stuff I learned in art school, it's all art anyway, so life drawing classes, perspective classes, graphic design classes, it all lent itself to comics, so it helped me get my skills better, faster, and helped me break into the business faster, I believe. Broke into the industry 1 year after I graduated art school, so I felt it definitely paid off. You're in Dallas too? Right on, right on. Yeah, I miss living in Dallas. So I'm saving that one blaster hand for the very end here because that's going to take some time to flesh out. So I'm going to have to draw this other hand as well. Actually, I forgot about that. I'm sure I would have noticed at some point. Oh, I still have to finish her face as well, don't I? I'm all over the map here, but my brain's thinking about tons of different things. Tons of different things. Which character am I drawing? Welcome to the broadcast, first off. You probably missed the top of the show where I described what this new feature is. This new feature is called Todd Nauck's Character Challenge Mashup. Character Mashup Challenge. God, I gotta get that title right. It's all about branding. So where I invited people earlier today on my Art of Todd Nauck Facebook page to post the name of one character, and just one character, and then I would use a random number generator, and I would pick two different characters to mash up. And so the two characters that came out in the random generation were Killer Frost from the CW Flash TV series and Manny Faces from Masters of the Universe. Two very different characters, very challenging characters to try to mash up together. So, but I called it a challenge, so I have to accept the challenge. If I want to have any integrity as an art broadcaster. All right, so now I got the hand fleshed out there a little bit more. Let's come in and put the details in. Try mashing up Kitty Pryde and Booster Gold. I would have done that. Actually, people suggested Kitty Pryde and Booster Gold, and I could have easily picked my two favorite characters and ran with it. But I chose to play the hand I was dealt, because that's only fair. So I'm going to need to come in here and put in some dark shades for the leather. Some fingernails here. All right, so that takes care of that hand. Let's put a little more tech here in the leg armor. Okay, let's get some details of her costume in here. So if I look at the bustier, it's kind of got some seams and buckles and hooks. So I want to reflect that here in her costume. Just so it has a little more detail. You just got here. Who are the mashup characters? Killer Frost from the Flash TV show and Manny Faces from Masters of the Universe. Into a character I have now dubbed Frosty Faces. Copyright Todd Nauck. Now what would be a hoot is if somebody came to a convention cosplaying as Frosty Faces. That would be hilarious. But I don't know why anyone would want to do that, because then they'd have to explain who they were all weekend long. And you don't want to have to explain who you are when you're cosplaying. You just want people to go, oh dude, that's Deadpool, that's Spider-Gwen, that's Todd Nauck as the 10th Doctor. That's awesome. But then again, when I cosplay as Sean Spencer from Psych, half the time I have to explain who I am, because otherwise people just think I'm a guy holding a pineapple. Which I am, but I'm more. I'm Sean Spencer. From one of my favorite TV shows called Psych, which is no longer on Netflix. Hopefully it's on Hulu or something like that. But it's not on Netflix or Amazon Prime anymore. Fortunately, I have all the DVDs because, like I said, it's one of my favorite shows, so I can watch it via DVD. Having it on Netflix made it very convenient because all I had to do was just press a button. I didn't have to dig out the DVDs. Take the time to actually put a DVD in the player? What is this, 1999? What if I forgot to rewind the DVD? Oh my goodness. All right. So get the hand holding the blaster here. Be kind, rewind. Yes, do rewind. Remember when we had to rewind? Now, probably some of you younger people are like, rewind? Rewind what? Back in the 1980s through 90s, we watched a thing called VHS videotapes. We actually would go to stores to rent a movie and spend $5 to rent a movie for a day or two. And if you didn't rewind the video before you took it back, you got charged a quarter, maybe 50 cents. So next time you came in to rent a movie, it's like, yeah, you've got a rewind charge here because you didn't rewind your copy of Milo and Otis when you returned it. You're like, darn it, I thought I did rewind Milo and Otis. There goes another quarter. But they'd always, on a lot of the videotapes that you'd rent, it would say, be kind, rewind, as a reminder, so that you didn't get those rewind charges accruing. They even had a machine that just rewound. You could buy a rewinder so that your actual VCR wouldn't have to rewind all the time, because it's a little hard on the VCR to rewind because it was ancient technology. The ancient astronauts used to watch their movies on VHS, actually Betamax. So, and the Settlers. Oh, when the Settlers wanted to watch a movie, yeah. They had to hand crank their video players. This is all historical stuff. You can look it up on some place that has historical information. I should definitely not be a history teacher. Oh, one time it ripped the tape? Your VCR ripped the tape when it was rewinding? I can imagine that. I had that happen with audio cassettes. Another form of listening to music from the 1980s. Audio cassettes. I listened to my Beastie Boys License to Ill tape so much that one day I was rewinding it and it broke. Libraries, of course, that's a place to where you can learn about history. Libraries. And the thing, back in the 80s, we used to read these things called books. I'm talking to future audiences here on YouTube. When people watch this 50 years from now, they'll be going like, books? What are books? You can actually hold pressed wood pulp in a bound format? Insanity. But yes, libraries. I've met Rich at a number of the Long Beach Comic Cons, so I knew he was a librarian. Glad you're here, Rich. Alright, so just a lot of different shapes there to make the blaster here. Trying to capture some of the look of the Man-E-Faces blaster, but since I only have one angle, I can't figure out all the different angles of the blasters, so I'm making some stuff up as I go here. In fact, let's put a little sight on here. How often do I live stream? This is my first time to live stream in a month because this November had been crazy. I was in India for a Comic-Con for a week, came home getting over jet lag and getting caught up on my comic book deadlines, and then Thanksgiving happened, and now we're rushing towards the Christmas holiday. But I'd like to broadcast at least once a week, if not twice a week, but all is dependent on how busy my work deadlines are. So this is my first time to broadcast in a month, and I'm so really missed everybody. So I'm really glad to be back. Glad y'all are here to hang out with me and chat while I draw. So sorry I haven't been able to answer a lot of questions, but it looks like people are having a blast watching, according to this last comment. Oh, by Rich. So I do hope to do a Q&A at the end of this broadcast so that I can address some of the questions I might have missed, which would probably be almost all of them. I think I've only caught 1 or 2 questions so far. What books am I drawing right now? The book I'm drawing right now, I can't say. It'll be for 2017, so it hasn't been announced yet. I can say it's for Marvel, but I can't say what it is. But the books that you can find me on that are coming out right now that I've drawn is a Deadpool miniseries called Deadpool Too Soon. Issues 1 and 2 are in comic shops now, and issue 3 comes out on December 28th. I also did a fill-in issue of Spider-Man Deadpool. I drew issue 12, written by Paul Scheer and Nick Giovannetti, and that issue also comes out on December 28th. So if you like my art, and if you like Deadpool, December 28th is our Christmas gift to you. You can get 2 Todd Nauck Deadpool comics in one day. It's insane, it's unheard of, it's unprecedented, some might say. Some might say, why would you say it's unprecedented? We don't listen to those people. We say, get me to a comic shoppery. A ye old comic shoppery, because I need to buy a couple of brand new Todd Nauck Deadpool comics. And hopefully you'll be glad you did. So that's what I'm working on currently. And I believe my Spider-Man and Silk miniseries, The Amazing Spider-Man and Silk Spiderfly Effect, just came out, or is about to come out, in trade paperback. So hopefully that gives you plenty of material to enjoy. All right, so all I have to do is finish this face here and then add the leathery textures to her costume. But let's get this face squared away first. So back to the 005 micron again. When am I coming to Arizona? Great question. I hope to be back at an Arizona Con sometime. Love coming out to Phoenix Comic Con. Let me tighten up her eyes here. There we go. Well, I cover inking of hatching. Want to know how to do it. I don't know if I'll be doing much cross-hatching on this illustration, unfortunately. So, but someday, yes, I should do some more specific inking tutorials and show kind of some of my approaches to doing things like cross-hatching and things like that. Because there are definitely some rules one would want to consider when doing their cross-hatching to ensure that their cross-hatching looks right and good. All right, so let's pull this back a little bit. Let's pull the camera angle back so you can see Frosty Faces a little more in her entirety. So that's what we've got so far. What I want to do now is erase before I add the blacks to the leather part of her costume. I erase first, because then and I'll put the power effect in later, probably in the color stage. Alright, so that's all the clean inked line art. Now what I want to do is come in and capture some of the leathery effect here. So what I want to do is come in now. I know I just erased a lot of this, but I want to kind of come in and map out where that shiny highlight's going to go. Nothing too dark, so even if I forget to erase, you won't be able to see it so much, considering where the light source is coming from. So kind of upish. And then I consider where would the shadow be. So I consider the planes of her chest, her rib cage here, abdomen area, but also consider the wrinkle of the clothes as well. So there's several things you have to think about simultaneously when working that, and using real life reference can really help achieve that artistic goal. So now I'm going to use my Pentel Pocket brush pen. Start to drop in the shapes. Now I like the brush because it allows me the organic shapes that I would want. Because the clothing moves in, like you can give different shapes by how much pressure you push down or let up, so I can create the wrinkles that I want just with a stroke. Now it's taken a lot of practice to get to this place, so you got to do it a bajillion times. You got to do a bunch of sucky illustrations to start to get to the good ones, to start to master the technique. So that's why we always say practice, 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 practice. I still practice. I try new techniques so I can practice new things and try new things. So it's always practice. Just like NFL players. Yeah, they play in the NFL. They're good enough to be in the NFL, but they got to practice. They got to practice. They got to do their drills, you know? So as artists, even when we break into the business, even when we've mastered much of our craft, I still think there's more stuff that we can learn and new ways to master things. So always practice, because even the pros practice. Because that practice will give you confidence in your skills and abilities, so that you can make it look effortless. But to be able to do this has taken me days and years and hours upon hours of practice. But I try to find the fun in it, you know? Otherwise it would be drudgery. Maybe not every illustration works out quite the way I wanted, but that's okay. Got to keep the faith, keep going, and keep having fun. So see, now this black is really making her pop here. It's really giving her a weight in this environment, even though there is no environment around her. Now for the pants. Some of the inks are just guidelines for me to show the direction, because I want to capture, so you can see here, there's the wrinkle right there from where her legs meet the hips, and then the highlight down the thighs there. That's why I want to try to capture. That's my goal. Leaving a little bit of the white open there for maybe like a reflected light later on if we're able to take this to color. Same on that side as well. is the approach on this illustration. Now, maybe sometimes I'll take the black all the way to the outer outline. It just all depends on the effect that I want to achieve. So I can always change it up if I want or need. I'm coming in with my zebra brush pen here, just the fine point one, just to beef up some of these lines. Just create a little more depth. How about them Cowboys? Oh my gosh. Man, Cowboys are just killing it right now. If we beat the Giants this Sunday, we clinch the NFC East, I believe, if I understood the football commentator guys correctly. Either way, it'll be fun to see the Cowboys rock it. I mean, everybody's doing great, from the new guys, Dak Prescott and Ezekiel. Oh, what's Ezekiel's last name? I totally blanked on it. Almost. And then guys like, sorry, I just blanked out on Ezekiel's last name. I keep wanting to say Jones, but I don't think that's right. Or is that right? Anyhow, Beasley and Witten and, oh my gosh, my brain is so focused on this, I'm blanking on Ezekiel Elliott. Thank you. It's Ezekiel Elliott. I appreciate that, Brian H. Thank you. Thank you. Ezekiel Elliott. How could I forget that? Come on, son. Sorry, a little psych quote there. 88. Why am I blanking on 88's name? God. Des Bryant. Des Bryant. Everybody's really been superstars this season, so very excited about the Cowboys and what they do. What they're gonna do too. Hoping they are continue to be Super Bowl bound. All right, so that is, what time is it now? Okay, it's been about an hour, so we should stop here. I'll do a little Q&A. We'll do colors on a separate video, so this will be a two-part video. So I'm going to flip the camera around, and we'll chat here a little bit. I'll answer a few of your questions, so you can start to queue those up, and we can chat a little bit more before we sign off. All right. Did I get invited to Supernova Gold Coast for next year? Not yet. I have not spoken with anyone from Supernova at this time, but I'd love to be a guest at a Supernova show. So yeah, feel free to let Supernova know you'd like to see me at your convention. Most rewarding part of my work. Oh man, there's so many rewards to it. 1, I get to draw every day, which I love to do. 2, I get to make a living at it, which helps me do it every day. 3 is I get to draw superheroes and comics. 4, I get to share that with y'all, and I appreciate everyone's support and meeting people at conventions. All the fans are awesome. So a lot of, it's hard to say what's the most rewarding because so much of it is rewarding. And I'm very thankful that I do get to do this for a living, and I try not to ever take that for granted. What's my favorite 80s tune? Let's see. I would probably say it was a toss-up for me. G.I. Joe and Transformers were 2 of my favorites. I lived in a small town in East Texas, and we didn't get all the Dallas stations. So I got the station that showed Mask, Transformers, G.I. Joe, but I didn't get the channels that showed Thundercats, Voltron, Masters of the Universe, Robotech. So I didn't get to watch those cartoons unless I went over to my cousin's house, which was only at the holidays, and that was only for like a day or 2. So that was the only time I got to watch those cartoons, and it would just blow my mind. So I didn't have access to a lot of them growing up in the 80s as a kid, but so I'd say my favorite, G.I. Joe and Transformers. Thanks for the question. How do I know what to render when it comes to inking? My pencil stage really breaks it down for me in what I want to ink. I know kind of what the image is going to look like, so the pencil is just kind of a guideline for me to then bring in the inks to take it to that next level. Well, I come out to OzComic in Australia. I would love to come to OzComic. I'd love to come into any convention in Australia to meet the fine people of Australia. So let your conventions know I want to see Todd Nauck and his wife Dawn as guests at our convention, and hopefully they'll extend me an invitation because I'd love to come down that way. Never been down there before. I'd love to come visit your country, your continent. How do I come up with dynamic poses? Study, research. Growing up, love looking at comics. Still love to look at comics. So that's an inspiration in some ways. But then also looking at real life and then just imagining it and then freeze framing it and then start to sketch it out as best I can. My Supergirl inspired you to work on an 80s inspired Supergirl sketch. Very good. I'm honored. Thank you so much. Good luck with that. Hope you have fun drawing your version of Supergirl. If you haven't been following me on my Instagram, I've been posting a progress of a Supergirl illustration, which I have right here. A little, I'm back. Here's a bonus illustration piece here. Fully, it's just penciled and watercolored. We'll zoom in there a little closer for you. No video for this one, so this is the only time she's showing up here on video, but you can see more of this on my Instagram, which is Todd Nauck on Instagram. Oops. Fell on the floor. Am I excited for the Doctor Who Christmas special this year? I have to finish watching season 9 and last year's Christmas special. We don't have cable, so I watch my Doctor Who via Amazon Prime. It's the only place that shows Doctor Who on a streaming platform. So we're 3 episodes into Doctor Who season 9, so hopefully I'll finish in time. Because my sister has cable, when I would go to visit her, I should be able to watch the new Doctor Who Christmas special. I should let my wife know we need to power through season 9 and last year's Christmas special, so we're queued up and ready for this year's Christmas special, so we can watch it like when everybody else does, and not be like a year behind everyone. Favorite claymation Christmas tune? Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, because it's got a giant abominable snowman in it. And that thing used to terrify me as a little kid. I thought it was the scariest thing I ever saw, but I was compelled to watch. I think when they pulled out all his teeth was actually what scared me the most. So actually, I think Hermes, the dentist elf, was actually the scariest character on that show. But he saved the day, so, you know, you take the good, you take the bad. Let's see, I think I have time for 1 or 2 more questions, and then we'll sign off here. While we wait for y'all to post up another question or two, this piece will be, I'll post a shot of the black and white artwork on all my social media, probably tomorrow. So Twitter, Facebook, the Art of Todd Nauck Facebook page, where you're watching this show right now. So make sure you click subscribe, like and subscribe so it shows up in your feed. Twitter, at Todd Nauck, Instagram, Todd Nauck, Tumblr, I'm Todd Nauck there as well. So pretty much you can punch in my name, search my name on any of those social media, and you should be able to find me pretty easily. Just go ahead and click like or subscribe or follow. Just do yourself a favor so that you don't miss out on all the artwork I post on a regular basis. And of course my YouTube channel, where you can hopefully see this broadcast if you're not watching on YouTube now in the future. Do I have a favorite writer to work with lately? Lately I've worked, let's see, I said lately. Let's just go with lately, not the past projects from Young Justice and Nightcrawler and all that, but just lately. This year I've worked with Robbie Thompson, Joshua Corin, Robbie Thompson on Amazing Spider-Man and Silk miniseries, Joshua Corin on Deadpool Too Soon, and Nick Giovannetti and Paul Scheer on Spidey Deadpool number 12. And I'm working with a writer right now, but I can't say who that is because I don't want to give away what the project is for 2017. So that's some of the writers I've worked with this year. And, you know, Robbie Thompson is awesome. I love his writing on Silk and Spidey. He has a great voice for Spider-Man, so he's great to write with. Joshua Corin's brand new to the game. It was really great collaborating with him because I really got to infuse a lot of my storytelling elements and problem solving for the story in the layout stage. So that was really cool. It was really fun to kind of almost co-write that with him in a sense, me doing the visual writing. And then working with Paul Scheer and Nick Giovannetti has been awesome. They wrote a really, really fun story. So it's hard to say who's my favorite lately. I'd say working with all of those guys has been awesome this year. Thank you for the question. How do I draw guns so well? I use gun reference. I either look up an image or I'll use a toy gun, which I keep handy. So here is a plastic toy pellet gun. And so I can hold it at whatever angle I need, or if I need someone to, like, if I need to see how it looks like when a person's holding the gun, I ask my wife to hold it, and she'll, like, it's like, Don, point this toy gun at me. I make sure that no pellets are in there so that she doesn't accidentally shoot me in the face. You don't want a pellet to take out an eyeball, because it could. It will. Kids, practice toy gun safety. Real gun safety with a trained professional. Toy guns, just because it's a toy doesn't mean it can't hurt you. So please be safe, kids, especially this Christmas season. If you get a toy gun for a gift, please be responsible. And parents, please be responsible with the toy guns you give your children. Stick with Nerf, ideally. So I use real-life guns. I even use... If I'm drawing, like I did an illustration of Han Solo, I grabbed my 1977 this is a actual 1977 Star Wars Han Solo laser pistol. This I have had since I was a little kid, from when Star Wars came out. I think it was 1978, 79. Well, it's 9 years old, so it was 1980. This 1980, I entered an Easter drawing contest and at a grocery store, and I won. And this is what I won. That was the day I learned I can draw things and then get things. Wouldn't be for years later that I realized I want to do that for a career. I was just thinking I could draw things and get toys. So I've had this. You can see I lost one of the little knobs here that holds the batteries in. But, you know, if I need to draw Han Solo, I just pull this out to make sure I get his gun as accurate as possible. So use real-life models and photos to make your guns and weaponry. Or if you have to draw an egg beater, if you have to draw a TV remote, go into your kitchen or your living room and get those devices and hold it, look at it from every different angle so that you can draw it accurately. So use real life stuff. Get a hold of it. I'll go and buy a toy dinosaur if I have to draw a dinosaur so I can maintain accuracy. So these are the things to help make your life easier. Draw from real life. You don't have to draw it all straight from memory. That's unreasonable expectation. So I really went off on that last question about how do you draw guns. So maybe we should wrap up there. Gang, I want to say thank you so much for hanging out with me. I hope to broadcast again soon, because we got to get the colors done for this. Because, you know, we're going to get this all really man-face looking with the killer frost, pale skin, and ice frost textures everywhere. So that's going to be a lot of fun. But I don't have enough time to do it here in one video. Otherwise, we'd be here all night. So let's just save this for a part 2. Maybe tomorrow, maybe Saturday, hopefully before Christmas is what I'm going to shoot for. So gang, thank you so much for hanging out. Thanks for all the likes. Thanks for all the comments. Thanks for all the questions. I'm so sorry I'm not always able to answer them all, because I'm always knocking my toys off my drawing table. Let me put that away there. So, gang, you guys are awesome. Like I said, y'all are awesome. It's so fun to get to broadcast with y'all again. And be sure to tune into my YouTube channel, because hopefully this will end up there pretty soon. Maybe even here before Christmas. I'll see if I can get it up before Christmas for y'all to see. So, thanks again for everything, and I will see you hopefully really soon. Have a great night, everybody. Peace.